what forensic science all comes down to is class characteristics and individual characteristics. Okay? Class characteristics are characteristics that are shared by a group of objects. The example I always used to give is, actually I'll use a screwdriver. That's not a bad example. Stanley Toolworks up in Naugatuck or wherever they are make screwdrivers. All the screwdrivers that come off that assembly line are basically the same. They have the same handle, they have the same shaft, they have the same, they're all flathead screwdrivers or Phillips head screwdrivers. They're all the same length. They manufacture thousands of these a year, and as you look at them, they're pretty identical. There's not a lot, there's probably no difference discernible to the human eye between these screwdrivers. Your sneakers, you go buy, I don't know, what do you guys buy? You guys back to Converse? Everything that was big when I was a kid is back now. Or they say it's Air Jordan still. I don't know. I buy running shoes. I don't pay attention, but I'll say for the sake of argument, I'll say Air Jordans. Every pair of a certain model of Air Jordan shoes is exactly the same. They have the exact same tread design, the same stitching, the same shape, the same color, the same lacing, everything. To the naked eye, they're undiscernible from one to the next one. So those are class characteristics. Individual characteristics are characteristics that appear on an object because of specific individual wear and use. So as you wear those shoes and you walk through the halls here and you walk out to your cars and you walk on sidewalks, you walk through the woods, you step on bits of stone and glass and sticks and you scuff them on the road. People walk differently. Some people scuff their heels, some people pronate, some people, you walk on your shoes differently. All of that makes individual wear on the bottom of the shoes. With a screwdriver, as you use a screwdriver, you're going to scratch it up. You may chip off a bit of the tip. I think I actually made a little lame drawing like that with a screwdriver with the tip broken off. Those are individual characteristics because even though you've got the class of the object, which would be the make and model and size of the shoe or the type of screwdriver, those little pits and gouges that you get in the bottom of your shoe are completely individual to you because nobody has walked over those same surfaces in the exact same way, in the exact same order, in the exact same pattern that you have. So the wear patterns on their shoes are going to be different. And that individual characteristic allows forensic scientists to discern one object to the exclusion of all others. So in the case of tread evidence, like tire tread evidence, it would be the same thing as your shoes. All tires have, of a particular make and model have the same tread design, but as you drive them around, there's going to be pits and gouges and whatever. So when you have a crime scene where there is tire tread evidence, typically you photograph the tire tread if it's visible, and you sidelight everything because it helps create more detail. But you photograph it and then you plaster cast it, and you flip it over and you look at the tread and you look for the little pits and gouges. When you finally, and this is the trick, when you have evidence at a crime scene, you can collect as much as you want, but if you don't have a suspect, if you got a tire tread and you have no idea where it came from, game over. You got to be able to match it back to something. So forensic science is one thing, and the CSI shows make it look like it all hinges on what they do in the lab. But you got to do old-fashioned detective work. You got to get out there. You got to interview people. You got to run down leads. So if they find a car that is suspect in the case, they can now match the tire from the car that they found to that tread. It's not like there's a huge database out there of tire treads that belong to specific cars, and they can just type in tire tread and it's this guy's car. It doesn't work that way. You got to have a suspect first, and you got to be able to match the evidence to the suspect. Any questions on class individual characteristics thus far?